Welcome to Ethereum Cat Herders Meeting 55. This is Pooja Ranjan. And the first item on the agenda is progress on the ECH website. In the beginning of 2021, we started exploring different options for improving the present Cat Herders website, and Anvatika has been working on it. Earlier, Michael shared the design and logo for the new website. Unfortunately, he could not join the last meeting, but I believe there were some good progress on the development side. So Michael, if you would like to take it away and share more updates of that.
Yep. Let me just share my screen here real quick. Okay, so this is just an overview of what I showed last time, which was the sort of finished landing page that everyone seemed to be okay with for the Ethereum Cat Herders. And that is just this right here. So it kind of goes over who Ethereum Cat Herders are.
Apologies, Michael. We're only getting half of your screen. Is anyone else seeing that? It's just me.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing, half a screen.
Half a screen. How about now? Is that any better?
Oh, that's better. You had it there
now
for
it's gone.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
Nice. That's it.
How's that work?
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
Very good. So we have the Ethereum Cat Herders landing page, excuse me. And then, but what we didn't have before were sort of the inner pages, right? So everything else in the navigation menu. So I'd like to sort of review that now. These are just in mock-up forms. That being said, everything that we see today is ready to go live, and that'll be, I have a couple of questions in terms of how we want to logistically accomplish that task once I kind of finish the mock-ups here. So we've got the overall landing page, which everyone seemed to approve in terms of what information was being displayed and how it was being displayed. Next, if we were to go to the activities, we have a couple submenus here displayed in the secondary menu, the network upgrades, EIP resources, dev meetings, breakout room, and then an events calendar. This is what we have laid out for the network upgrades, showcasing the upgrade that we're currently in, and then sort of an archive section of previous network upgrades on the bottom here. The representative of sort of call to action cards with the type of link that it refers to linked in the corner here by the icon. So if this one is, everything's pulled from the current site. So for example, this one was a Medium article. The rest of these were GitHub repos. If they were anything different, they would be indicated otherwise. Moving on to the next page, the EIP resources. Based on the prototype that was provided, what we've done is created a video section that ties into the YouTube page, and then an archive playlist that once this is hit, these will autoplay in succession. And then the previous Ethereum blockchain upgrade links. And this is just blank for now, but just representative of the calendar. So anyone that wants to know when the next one is coming up, it'll be displayed there. And then the dev meetings is pretty similar in terms of the EIP resources, where we have the cards and then the applicable resources in each one. So someone will click on a card, it will expand on the resources available, all based on the information on the current site will be listed here. And then a calendar of those meetings links to the event calendar. Next, we have the About Us section for the Ethereum Cat Herders, just kind of diving in deeper into who you are and as individuals and then as a team. This is one section where I'm going to need some assets from the Ethereum Cat Herders in terms of if this is in fact approved, this is the direction you want to go. I'll need some sort of headshot from the team members that you'd like displayed at minimum. Best if we could have some sort of name, role, if that's what you guys do here on the team, and then maybe some sort of short bio. We have the support model that you guys have laid out in the prototype, and then in the prototype there was a section wanted for reviews. I don't know if you guys have those currently. We'll need those supplied as well. Would love any direction on that and as to where I could find that. And if we don't want that, that's fine too. And then the next section is the main streaming section. So we'll have a full 19:6 YouTube player here, and there'll be two sections. So there'll be the main player. This will just play if the Ethereum cat herders are not live streaming. This will show the most recent uploaded video. If you are live streaming, this will automatically show the live feed. And then the individual Ethereum cat herder playlists on the bottom. We're also going to make this a little bit more obvious, but this tuner will be interactive so that if someone were to click it, it would change the playlist and play the applicable, the newest video in that playlist. So just a couple things to point out before we get into the minutia, maybe each page. The assumption being here that everything is approved and there isn't a whole lot of change here. We will need a couple things of copy provided by the Ethereum cat herders. We weren't really sure what to put here for an overview of the network upgrades. So I'll need some assistance in terms of the verbiage and what exactly you would like put there. I believe same thing for, the dev meetings. I'll need assistance with what exactly you'd like pointed out here in terms of what it is. And then obviously the same thing, like I said before, for the about us section. Basically the biggest thing that's lacking here is the team section, and then the testimonial section. So that is the full mock-up. This will be, one thing to point out too, at least for the time being, unless I'm told otherwise, the blog section is actually just going to be linked to the existing Medium blog, since you've already got that pretty well indexed and it's pretty well leveraged. I think it would be a shame to have to train your existing audience into a new platform. So it just makes sense to create a path of least resistance for the same information. So that's what the blog section will be. Any initial questions, concerns, comments regarding the mock-up for the inner pages?
The first comment, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. Thank you for that.
I'm obsessed with the cats. They're so cute.
That's good.
Yeah, one section I would like to check with others as well, where we have described we strive to support. Can you just go back to that page?
Sorry, which page?
Where we have explained the acronyms for support.
This one?
No. Yes, yeah. We strive to provide. So this is just what we do, like the cat herders are engaged with creating synergy, and we are working on improvement proposals, not working on, but helping out, making resources and sharing information and all those stuff. So if people have any particular suggestion on this, if this can be improved or this is fine, feel free to share that as well. And yeah, I like the suggestion of having GitHub profiles. Do people have other thoughts on that? Like if you want to provide headshots and link it back to the GitHub profiles.
I think that would be cool. So you're basically saying, so for each individual person, if they have a repo, that we would link to it?
Yeah, because mostly they are contributors to Ethereum cat herders. So I'm assuming they must have a GitHub profile at least, if not Twitter or anything else.
Yeah, I got my headshot on my GitHub profile.
Right.
We could do that too if that's easier. If you just want to do, we can link to the GitHub and then whatever icon is featured for their GitHub repo, we can just put that on there if you want with their name.
Right, this is something that we can collect it with the team and I can get back to you on. And about the description part that you have mentioned, networking meeting and dev meeting and about us section. So if someone is interested to work on that.
I'm happy to, Pooja.
Okay. I believe you have an initial document in which you have already put something together on what to go and where to go. So if you can just go ahead and add these section would be helpful for even for Michael and everybody else.
Yeah, no problem. I'll work with Michael on that.
Okay, Michael, I believe you have some questions on how to link the domain name. So
yes, so I admittedly don't know exactly how GitHub deals with hosting, so I would have to imagine there's a place where I'm operating under two assumptions. One, that Ethereum Cat Herder owns actually the domain name ethereumcatherders.com, and then that the GitHub settings allow to change the name servers in relation to that domain. And if those two things are true, then all we should have to do is update the name servers. So I can provide what those would be for the domain, and then just have them point to our hosting. And then we should be able to effectively go live once the copy has been produced. And then when we have these this team section filled out.
On the domain name part, yes, I'm certain that we have ethereumcatherders.com, and I talked to Charles, who was actually looking into buying, like renewing this domain. So he had renewed it for this year, of course. So that is there. And at the moment, the current ethereumcatherders.com is actually maintained by GitHub. But going back to your question, if GitHub allows to change the name server, I'm not sure of that. Brent, by any chance, do you have any insight on it? I remember you working with some domain name when we were linking on the email part. So do you have any insight on that?
We just have to find out who owns the domain name and go to the DNS and reconfigure the domain name for that server. Like, for example, some of mine are hosted by AWS, so we just need to find out who owned, because there's got a DNS setting somewhere, either on GoDaddy or some site somewhere where, or AWS or something like that. We just got to find that spot and who has the credentials for that. And then you could go in and change the C record and the mail. Yeah, we can change those. I'm trying to recall if we changed something like that for the email, but I don't recall. But I could try and look into that, because we can do the who is and everything.
Okay. I'm not sure if you're aware, but there is a GitHub issue on the Ethereum Cat Herders GitHub repository. So if you get any information, maybe it's helpful for Michael and his team to link the things. Any help would be really appreciated.
Okay, yeah, I'll look into that.
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you. Maybe Charles, I don't know, Charles mentioned that if he gets chance, he may be able to join the meeting last few minutes if he can catch up. But if not, then he will try to respond to the GitHub comment that Michael has created there. So I hope this should be done, and we can expect the new website before we go ahead with the community call for Berlin. Does that sound reasonable?
It does from my end. So really, it's just I think Shane and I will meet up and finish this copy real quick, and then should just be, I'm hoping, a day or two to transfer everything over to get the name server set up. So I think having this ready and deploy out for the Berlin hard fork community call, I think is a very reasonable expectation.
Sounds all good from my end. Do people have any further question on this topic before we move on? Question, comment, anything? Well, thank you, Michael, for this. So we will sync offline as well and see how and what progress can we make, and we'll try to get it up running before the next meeting. Going to the next item on the agenda is Ethereum community collaboration and meeting. So the first subsection is collaboration with Fellowship of Ethereum Magician. Annette from the Fellowship of Ethereum Magician has left some comments in today's agenda. And she wanted to discuss how FEM and ECH can collaborate. So I'm straightway passing it to Annette to speak more on it. Welcome to the meeting, Annette.
Yeah, thank you. Hi guys. So I would like to ask you guys what are your plans for this year, if you guys have some sort of roadmap of what you guys are planning to do this year, where the Ethereum controllers community is heading. Basically, how did you guys evolve? And then, as I mentioned in my 3 questions, in the agenda in the GitHub issue, I would love to get answers on what kind of activities are you doing, except Peep is taking note Carter's goal, and then if there is a way how we can collaborate together.
So, as I mentioned to you briefly, like we are currently engaged with nodes and network upgrade support. Support means reaching out to the projects and other infrastructure provider, making some outreach that we did for 1559. And we are planning to do similar tasks for other proposals as well, along with the PEEP and ETH. But really we'll be happy to collaborate on any event, like themed event. I believe FEM has organized something last year. So if you have any proposal for us, we'll be happy to collaborate on that.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else who has something to add to this?
So Annette also left. Oh, Brent, go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, no, yeah, sorry, that was just noise.
Oh, no problem. So Annette has also left a comment. So if anybody comes up with any other suggestion or any other idea that can be helpful for the overall education of Ethereum community, or maybe showcasing the tasks, the activities that is being done by different groups, feel free to leave a comment there. Moving on to the next section of this item is Berlin Upgrade Community Call. As we were discussing in the earlier item, that we would like to have Berlin Upgrade Community Call, that countdown call. I have shared a draft of a Medium article for the announcement of this. The expected date is April 15, 16. It's not fixed because every day keep on changing. Earlier we were expecting it somewhere around April 16, like 11 a.m. Now I can see, as per the Ethernode's website, it is somewhere in the like 2 or 2:23 a.m. somewhere like that. So here is the link of the draft. Michael has kindly designed the cover image because we are hoping this call to be after the new website launch. So we tried to give a teaser of how the new website would be looking like, the logo and other stuff. So my question here mainly with the group is like when we would like to publish this draft, like do we have any specific thought on publishing date? Maybe before the All Core Dev meeting this Friday, or today, tomorrow, or if there is any other suggestions to be added in this blog, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, I think before the Alcor Devs could be nice. So on the Alcor Devs, I'll be mentioning that Berlin is happening on April 14th. And so if at the same time we can kind of mention that there's this community call, I think that would be really good.
Yeah, sounds good. So April 14th, you just mentioned, Tim, I'm a little confused. I'm just trying to understand this part. I had only one place to follow, that was like Ether Notes, and I was following there. It suggests April 16th. So is there a way where we can, get accurate thing, or maybe where people can follow any placeholder for that?
I'm not sure, I can check, but it's basically the block number, right?
Right.
So yeah, we can't, we can't really know too far in advance.
Yeah, right.
But I think the Ethernodes countdown is usually pretty accurate. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, so right now it says it's going to be on April 15th. Yeah.
Okay, so I will be providing the link of Ethernode countdown.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, people will be able to track it when it is coming up. We already have mentioned that the meeting will be starting 45 minutes prior to the block that we are expecting to be deployed on, but it would be better for people to refer. Okay, any other comment on this item?
Is this about the thing that Annette was talking about, or is this a different item? Sorry.
It's a different one. It's the Ethereum community countdown call that we are planning to organize, the cat herders. So I have shared a blog. So we were just discussing if we want to add anything more to that blog.
If there's nobody else for this topic, I actually had something to follow up with Annette about. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Please go
ahead. So Annette, we recently have been doing something called like a bot. Like I built a bot for the AIP's repo, and that kind of goes along into a bit of a like what the Ethereum cat herders has been doing, which is kind of like project management, in the sense that the Ethereum cat herders did a lot in terms of organizing the work to be done with that, and then following through, getting funding and stuff to get it all handled without like concern or involvement from the parties, the stakeholders in that case. So that's one other thing that we're working on, just general project management, I guess.
Thank you.
Okay. So moving on, the next item is ECH funding and fund management. Unfortunately, I do not see Edson or William on the call, but the first item listed here, sub-item listed here, was to discuss using a yield-bearing instrument, either Aave or Compound, to hold fundings. In the last meeting, Edson proposed some thoughts on how to better hold fundings. And there was some discussion between William and Edson, and we wanted to bring it to the broader audience because most of the people could not join the last meeting due to change of the time. Many people got confused, and that it was because of that. But we would be curious to hear more thoughts from this group and see how we can better manage fund. If people have any thought here. If not, we can move on and we'll see. We'll bring it back when they are available. Going to the next sub item, it was future funding from Moloch via Moloch Geld. So as Alita was mentioning, that we are trying to take some or the other task as a project management part to support the Ethereum development at large. So currently we are working for EIP bot. So we try to arrange funding for that. And similarly, we are planning to take up more tasks, something related to research report or maybe outreach that is needed, maybe work on the proposals that need some kind of support. So I was in touch with Moloch and Yanta specifically. We discussed some ways of providing additional support to projects, proposals wherever they need. So we have we are looking on different options how to fund that. There is one other section that is EIP editors. We are discussing this thing in EIP meeting about the EIP editors and maybe in future ERC editors and how to fund that. So the idea that she brought up was we can have this Moloch guild. The Ethereum cat headers can be a part of Moloch guild, in which whatever task we are performing and whatever task we think that other group or the proposal or somebody is needing fund for, we arrange the fund for them. We work with Moloch, or maybe on a quarterly basis we let them know what are the jobs that needs fund, and we get the fund and we distribute it accordingly. So I'm curious to hear thoughts on ECH being Moloch guild. One thing I would like to mention here, that even if we are a Moloch guild, the autonomy will be with us. We will decide on how we want to operate. It's just that they would be looking for the results.
So I think in general, I forget what it's called exactly, but there is a certain like project management idea that is used. I can look into the exact, or actually could probably find it here. But essentially, I like that idea. That sounds great. And then give me 2 seconds. I will. A dev shop a dev shop cooperative, basically, is the point. Where like you sort of have a group of people that act as like a project, like a go-to project management for certain things. And the idea would be that a certain client would pay a group of people to then figure out how to make something happen. And so in this case, it could potentially be some sort of, you know, core developer or whatever, Ethereum level thing. So if Moloch is going to act as a bit of like a client in that case, then to me that seems very like a very good direction.
Sounds good. Do we have any other thought on this? Okay, maybe we would like to work a little bit more on this. I would be trying to document things, to document the proposal, and then maybe list the task that we can reach out to the team for funding for. Okay. Moving on, the next item on the agenda is meeting notes. I believe Tim left some comment about merge meeting, so let's start from there.
Yeah, thanks. So basically, there's going to be a new recurring call. You know, right now we have all core devs for ETH1. There's an ETH2 call every 2 weeks, and we're going to start having a merge call every 2 weeks as well, or maybe not exactly every 2 weeks, but you know, pretty much. And it would be nice to have some note taking. I don't know what, like, from a budget perspective, things look like for the cat herders, but I'm sure if that's a blocker, the EF can help. And basically, you know, the meetings are 90 minutes long. They're pretty technical, so I guess whatever we pay for all core devs would make sense for this. I can share. Basically, we have a page in the Ethereum PM repo with all the info, so I can share this in the chat right now. But yeah, that's basically, you know, what I was looking for. If people are interested and available to help with note taking for these, it would be super valuable. I just shared the page. We have the first one happening in 2 days, about 2 hours before the start of this cat herders meeting.
Shane here. I would be keen. I have to write about the merge for other things, so that would be quite useful for me to attend.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if people are interested, this can be scheduled on a regular basis as well. Like as Tim mentioned, that may or may not be happening in the interval of 2 weeks. For the first meeting that is upcoming on Thursday, I believe, Shane, I can like schedule you, and going forward, if anybody else is interested, we can just have that done.
Great, yeah.
Thank you. And the first meeting that was listed here is All Core Dev meeting 108. I believe we have some time. So if the, oh, I don't see Pedro here. Okay. So we are working on the different meeting notes, and these notes are submitted to the different GitHub repositories. We generally try to list the meeting note here, and if resources available, to provide a summary of that. We generally encourage the person who is documenting the notes to submit the notes between 3 to 5 days at the max. And if not, then we would like to open the notes for other people to submit it as soon as possible. The next item on the agenda is PEEP and EEP. So in the past 2 weeks, we organized 2 PEEP and EEP. One was for EIP 1474, that is remote procedure call specification. That is specifically the Ethereum RPC methods. As of now, different clients are using different methods. So this was an effort by people from MetaMask to standardize the proposed specification, but now it appears that this would be moving into a different direction, not as a standardized, but maybe somewhere where it can be continuously, updated, and whatever the latest spec is there can be reflected. The group will be working on that, and very soon there will be a new repository to reflect this, reflect it as a placeholder for this kind of specification. The other one we did was EIP 137, specs for ENS and wildcard resolution. That is a new proposal for some or the other resolutions. We had this overview with Nick Johnson, and it's a very good watch for people who would like to understand the ENS. Along with these 2 proposals, Nick also talked about how ENS can be used on L2. I'll highly recommend people to go and watch this episode on PEEP and EEP playlist at YouTube. The upcoming one is EIP 2124, that is a networking proposal for fork identifier for chain compatibility checks. This is planned tomorrow, March 31st at 14:30 UTC with Feelings Slang. If people are interested, they can find the meeting invite on the Ethereum cat address Discord. So that's all, and the not very last, but yes, discuss and close the ECH GitHub issues and peers. On the PM side, I don't think there is any new issue that we would like to discuss, but on the funding side, we have cleared almost all funding. Please check if you have received the funding. If not, leave a comment, and if you have, then please close the issue. There is only one issue left, that is for EIP bot. I'm waiting on some more confirmation from the EIP editors, Micah, Light Client, or maybe from Hudson to release the funding. But if people want to know what's going on in there, Alita has left the link for the repository for the GitHub issue, where she is providing updates on the progress of the EIP bots. Okay, so the last item on the agenda is reviewing of outstanding action items from the previous ECH meeting. And oh, I'm sorry, this is not linking to the correct one. Fine. So the 2 decision items mentioned here is proceed towards closing the issue of 103 and 163. I think we need to close that. And because now the Ethernodes have already shared the new link, people can go ahead and track that. Number 2 is put an item on the next meeting agenda to discuss using a yield-bearing instrument. Unfortunately, Edson and William could not join the meeting today, so we didn't get a chance to discuss it more on it. But I'll try to put it again on the agenda. But in the meanwhile, if people have thoughts, feel free to share it on the GitHub or any, Discord or any other communication channel. We'd like to hear thoughts on how we can make the best usage of this suggestion. So I think that's all. If anyone has anything else to share in this meeting. So that's all for this meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Sorry, I had one quick thing. I looked up on Econ the registrant for Ethereum cat herders, and the registrar is GoDaddy, but the registrant is someone called Polymath. Might Hudson, or maybe I could contact Lane Redding or one of the old guys or something like that. Any idea who Polymath might be, or who might have the credentials to get in to change the IP address for ethereumcatherders.com?
Polymath sounds like name of a project, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds familiar, and it looks like it's some kind of crypto project. I could do more research, but I'll contact Hudson and some of the old guys, and there's got to be someone. And where does the domain currently point to? Who's hosting that? Does anyone know that?
That is with Charles.
Charles. Oh, okay. I'll contact Charles too. Then he might know. Then I'll do some more research. Thanks.
That would be helpful. Thank you, Brent, for that. So Charles, I already have a brief Charles about this migration process. I don't know, he mentioned that if he would be able to join the meeting, he could, but it looks like he could not make it. But yes, feel free to contact him, and I'm sure he'll be able to help you on that. So thank you everyone for joining us today. The next meeting is planned on April 13, 2 weeks from now. See you all soon.
Thanks all.
Thanks.